Hey, so this here's the 100th video on the channel, if I'm counting right, if I'm seeing YouTube count right or whatever. So I got something pretty interesting I want to talk about in this video here. But shit, do want to apologize stuff for looking so fucking dank. It's early as fuck. Like I say, it's early as fuck. I'm dirty as fuck. I've been doing a lot of cleaning stuff. If you watched the last video, I can literally dust myself off, and it's like that fucking, I think it's called Ballad of Buster Scruggs, that Netflix Western they did a few years ago. I think it's at the beginning of the movie when they're dust themselves off. So before I move on to my next task, I'm just kind of taking a little bit of cigarette break here. But basically, and the angle ain't the best here either, because I've got this sitting on a fucking old AC unit. That's junk. But anyways, see if I can adjust it a little bit though too. A little better. I don't know. Anyway, sorry for the unprofessionalism, but yeah, so what I wanted to talk about in this video here is just sharing the memories of some of the best days of my life, best times of my life, I should say. I'm not going to, I guess you could say, well, these are like honorable mentions, right? It's basically like just little like picture memories that I have from my childhood that I don't like truly remember. Which mainly was just playing Super Nintendo with my dad and stuff. I can picture in my mind like some like points in time and stuff. Whenever, like I imagine just sitting like on the couch and we're on like this TV like this big, you know what I'm saying? And I remember my mom would be like sewing in the corner and stuff of the room, and then me and him would be playing Super Nintendo, which is set up on like this little cabinet thing, you know. Excuse me, still got plenty of dust in my throat. Those were some really good memories that I don't remember a whole lot of, but I remember having these like pictures of them, right? Which brings up another thing, really, is I have some memories that I believe are just dreams because they're so weird that they can't really be reality, you know? But anyways, so there's some that I have that's like that, and the other ones, not really gonna rank them or anything. But excuse me here for a second. My stomach's really upset. I just keep one of these little stomach settling cough drops on me. My stomach's always in a fucking mess. But anyways, it's not ranking these, but I've got 3 memories. They're all kind of recent. The first one is going to be whenever my wife and I, of course, she's technically girlfriend then, we still living separately at our parents' house. And I remember we watched like we went out and ate breakfast really early together. And I'm not going to get into like all the little details of everything and stuff like that, but we went out and ate breakfast together. And we kind of dressed up nicer and stuff. And had a Suzuki Samurai then, and we was driving in it and stuff. Went back to her house for a while. Yeah, sorry about that. I got chickens around me here. They're kind of fighting, I guess. But then she's telling me about this anime she started watching. It's called High School DxD, which is one of my favorites of all time now and stuff. But I remember we watched the whole first season in one day. watched some episodes and stuff at her house. And then later on, we went to my parents' house. And then we stayed kind of like dressed up all day and stuff. But then we kind of kept watching, some more episodes and stuff. And then a little bit later that night, it's in the middle of the night, we went out. There's this one place where they have like a kind of like a man-made waterfall. Later on, I realized it's like the runoff from the water company or whatever the fuck or some shit, right? But anyways, it's down in the fucking woods. It looks kind of cool and shit. And you got to park and go through this little trail. There's like fishing hole down there and stuff. But took her out there and kind of showed that to her and stuff like that. Then I remember we came back and finished up the last couple episodes of the season or whatever of High School DxD, and then I need to stop doing these side profiles. Goddamn, goddamn, my nose and my lack of chin, fuck, or jawline, whatever. But anyways, we finished up the last couple episodes, and I remember just went to bed and everything, and like I say, it's just a wonderful day. I always talk about that's the best day of my life, but I feel like that's unfair because sometimes it can kind of encompass a lot more. So with that, the next time is, and I talked about this just a few videos ago, I think, but it's whenever my daughter was born, and after we got her back from the hospital and stuff, I was able to take off about a month from work and get paid for it because I had enough time saved up. And then we just took turns. Like, we was in there by the wood stove, and this here's where we're living at now. And we was in there by the wood stove, just had a mattress laid down in the floor. We was taking turns, who's holding her, who's sleeping, basically, right? And my shift was down in the evening and stuff. It's probably close to midnight to about 7 in the morning, roughly. There wasn't like a time frame. It's just kind of how it worked out. And I remember I'd stay up all night playing Shantae, and cause I just got that at the time. And there was just my daughter sleeping on my chest and stuff, and I was up just kind of playing video games, and my wife was sleeping and stuff, and we was taking turns holding the baby, putting wood in the stove, playing video games, watching TV, and did that for like a month, and that was kind of my inspiration and was my onset for wanting to pursue my own personal business stuff so that I could spend as much time with my family as I wanted to and to be able to do the things that I want to do. And it also kind of onset me reclaiming and getting out of my conformity and kind of reclaiming doing what I wanted to do in life. Also, I'm squatting. It's kind of hurting. That's why I'm moving around. But, so there's that. And this here is going to sound a little bit weird, but like, there was a time, it was exactly 2 years ago, really. It was a little bit after I had really started reclaiming myself. I started getting out of the normalcy that I'd been in my job previous, where I was working construction. I was starting to rediscover, like truly rediscover, not just kind of starting on the path like on the last one, all the things that I'd loved and just didn't have time for. And I was playing more video games and stuff then. This here was, like I said, I was playing more video games then, and then also I was, yeah, it was 2 years ago, sorry. I was having to just make for sure. But I remember it was in January, because in January I always get sick or feel bad or some bullshit kind of happens. This way it just seems to work out. But I remember we just got done playing the Call of Andy and Lily a couple months prior. which is a game we hold dear to us and stuff. And starting to kind of rediscover black metal and stuff I really like, and started transitioning to going upstairs where we can actually play video games and listen to things at an audible level. However, though, in January, we was all sick, kind of trading it back and forth, I guess, me, my wife, and my daughter. But I remember being off work for a good couple weeks or so there as well. And, of course, it's kind of stressful, the work kind of gave me bullshit and everything. It's one of those jobs, like, even if you have a doctor's excuse, they don't, they accept it, but they don't give you that time off. However, though, if you had more than 3 days off in a row, you get FML, or leave of absence, which they later done away with. But anyways, though, so I was able to get that because I got sick. Then my wife got sick, then my daughter got sick, then I got sick again. But whenever I was sick, we just had the mattress down there on the floor by the wood stove. And we was all just kind of on there together, sleeping, napping, staying warm. And at the time, I was kind of getting pretty big into like watching VTubers stream and stuff. I remember just really enjoying that because whenever I'm sick, I don't feel like playing video games really. I don't feel like watching something that I have to focus on. So something like that is just kind of like dumb background fun. So I really enjoyed that. And I was also just kind of listening to some music and stuff like that where I didn't have to focus on it. And I remember just laying there at night, just sleeping as much as I could, just there in the living room on the mattress and the floor, and just kind of resting up and taking it easy. Because that was kind of whenever you could put anything on the TV, and my daughter didn't care. Now she's pretty picky about it, which is fine, we watch her little cartoons and stuff. But just like I say, at that time, it's kind of different. So it's a pretty good memory for being sick. I kind of skipped over this one here, but the last one I want to mention. Actually, there's two I want to mention, but I'm just going to kind of glaze over them real quick because I'm going to talk about them in depth in a separate video at some point because it's a video I've been wanting to make for a while. And first one's whenever me and my wife, and I've talked about it a little bit, but we was getting into playing Dragon Ball Super card game. And we were just going and playing at this actual card shop and stuff. And we was actually both invested in it and playing this game and putting decks together. It's just super fun time going around getting cards and stuff, finding them, looking at places. And the other time was fast forward about I want to say it's probably a little over 3 years ago. It's crazy to think. It was around the time that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out. A little bit before that, we started playing Pokemon trading card game. And this year's whenever my wife was pregnant. And so it's kind of rough on her and stuff like that to go around hunt for cards. But we was able to do it some. And we were just kind of gearing up because we knew, like, hey, when our baby's here, it's going to be game time, you know what I'm saying? We just got to take care of stuff. We got a lot of shit to work on and whatnot with that. So we just playing Pokemon. I remember Bob talking about how sometimes she couldn't sleep at night to do the pregnancy and stuff. She'd be up like looking up card lists and stuff. We had a lot of fun going out to these card shops late at night and stuff. This is back whenever we could still just kind of run around later at night and not have to worry about it and stuff. But I remember that just being so much fun. But yeah, so those are about the 5 best times of my life, other than just a few like picture memories that I have whenever I was a kid. That was cool. I grew up kind of quick and realized that parents weren't all that, you know what I'm saying? But I do have some good picture memories in my head and stuff of them, though. But I'm tired as fuck, so I look rough. Apologize about all, but anyways, 100th video. If anybody watches this, do appreciate it and hope you have a good one.